So, Chanel and I just came back from a amazing vacation. Those of you that follow me on Instagram got to see everything that we did while we were doing it firsthand. If you're not following me on Instagram, then you missed out. But I'm going to give you a recap here and show you guys some footage of what we did and where we went. So, she is a top seller, or the top seller, one of the top sellers at her company, and she won a vacation. And she had to choose from a bunch of places that her company is affiliated with. Let's just put it like that. So the places that we had to choose from was what I would consider not so appealing to me, because I'm a typical African American vacationer. I want to go somewhere where it's sunny with a beach. You know what I mean? But this place that we went, which is Lake Tahoe. We chose Lake Tahoe. I wasn't really too enthused. I wasn't excited. I'm like, what are we going to do in Lake Tahoe? But I had such a great time. Insane. I would go back to Lake Tahoe. I would definitely go back to Lake Tahoe. And I had a good time. We ate good. Our accommodations were great. Activities were great. Everything was wonderful. All right, so first of all, we flew first class. Well, whenever we go on vacation, and we always typically fly first class because of our statuses and stuff like that. Well, Chanel's status most of all, because she travels a lot for work, but I have my status too. But we always get bumped up because she travels more than me. But anyway, flew first class. Meal was pretty good. Had to transfer. Flight was fairly, moderately long. Then when we got to Lake Tahoe, we stayed in cabins, which was very, very different for me. So originally when she booked the trip, I'm like, we're staying in cabins? What do you mean we're staying in cabins? Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. But the cabin accommodations were cool. It was like a modernized cabin. All right, so like it wasn't like a cabin like you think, like in the middle of nowhere, which is what I was thinking, with like those log things. It was kind of like modernized cabins, and it was kind of like a community. And it wasn't in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of forest. It was kind of like off of the main street. So it was kind of weird. But it was still a cabin with a beach next to it. It's pretty dope. But the only downside to the cabin is the cabin did not have any air conditioning in it. So we slept with the windows open, but we got a good breeze. Lake Tahoe, right? So while we were there, we met up with one of Chanel's work friends, and we went on a hike. And then hike was at, like, I think it was at Olympic Park is the place called Olympic Village. We went on a long hike up a huge mountain, and we went really, really far. It was really enjoyable to see all the sights, to see all the wilderness, to see there was waterfalls there. It was very, very, you had to be in some type of shape to go on this hike, right? So thank God I've been doing the walking up a treadmill thing on a daily basis, because it really, really came in handy. It was very, very hot. It was dangerous. The hike was challenging, but I had a good time. Very good sights. Lake Tahoe was amazing. And our tour guide, Chanel's coworker, he didn't really know where he was going. Yeah, he went on this hike before, but not on the part where we hiked. But nonetheless, we had a great time. After the hike, we ate great. We had some pizza at this place, and I had cauliflower crust pizza. It was like Thai curry. It was so delicious. No red sauce, the Thai sauce with some sweet. Oh my gosh, it was delicious. All right. So, and after that, we went home, showered, took a nap. Like, not even a nap, took a sleep. Because later on that day, we had to go and we went on a boat ride. We went on a boat ride. It was great. The boat left from the place where we stayed at, and it traveled, I think it was like a 3 to 4 hour boat ride, traveled all the way out in the middle of Lake Tahoe and went to Emerald Bay, this place called Emerald Bay. There's an island in the middle when you go inside of Emerald Bay. There's a small island, and there's a castle at the top. I mean, at the little tea thing. I think they're called a tea house. This princess who had a lot of money got a tea house built. She bought an island, had a tea house built on this island, so her guests can make tea, whatever. And then she has a castle off to the side that is expensive and exclusive and historical and stuff like that. But Emerald Bay was pretty cool. So then while we were on that little boat ride, they gave us the VIP treatment. So everybody was like general seating, but Chanel and I, they came and got us out of the line and took us to a reserved exclusive private table. So we had our dinner like kind of like away from everybody else. Everybody else was like seated kind of like together, but we were like seated by ourselves in the front with a table for two. It was pretty darn cool, and they treated us very, very well. And we got our food first and everything. It was just amazing experience. All right, so the next day after that, we didn't know what we wanted to do. I had said, because there was an ATV outside, I said, hey, maybe we can, see how much it is to ride the ATVs or whatever. So we called the company, and I didn't really like the feedback I was getting, because at first nobody picked up the phone, and then somebody picked up the phone, and then they were like, okay, hold on, let me check if we're doing this, and it was kind of like a weird situation. And then when I got a price, it was like a lot more than I expected to pay for the four-wheeler rides. So I said, forget about it. So Chanel decided to go to the front desk thing, like outside of our cabin or around to the front desk thing, and ask about the ATVs and if they were doing it, or whatever. But when she came back, she asked me, do you want to rent a boat? I said, yeah, I want to rent a boat. So she said, okay, well, if you want to ride the boat, like, we got to go now. So I'm like, so what do you mean ride the boat? She's like, the company has a boat and they're going to give it to us. I'm like, what? I'm like, how much is it? She's like, I'm not sure, but it seems like they're going to give it to us. All right. So I'm like, but she said, but we got to go like right now. I threw on my clothes. We went out there and they gave us a boat. Gave us a quick crash course, told us what to do, what not to do, safety precautions and stuff like that. That whole process took no longer than 30 to 45 minutes. Got our life jackets and everything like that. Next thing you know, I'm driving a boat in the middle of Lake Tahoe. Guys, I'm driving a boat, just Chanel and I. Never drove a boat before. I'm driving a boat in the middle of Lake Tahoe. Insane. This was something that I did not know was on my bucket list, but now it was on my bucket list, but I didn't know it was on my bucket list. So now I cross it off my bucket list, but it was so dope. And now I'm addicted to boats. I'm a huge boat fan, and I know how to ride. I know how to drive boats, right? So, so we rode the boat pretty much into the same path that the previous day's boat ride did. We rode the boat all the way out Lake Tahoe and turned and went to Emerald Bay, and we rode around Emerald Bay and saw the castle again and saw the tea house again on the private island. And we ran around, and then we left out of Emerald Bay and went back into the middle of Lake Tahoe. And the guys, when we got our boat, kept suggesting that maybe we should since we got a boat, we're in the middle of Lake Tahoe. He said, hey, I suggest that you jump in the water because, when else are you going to do this? You're in Lake Tahoe, this is Lake Tahoe, and you got a boat. So Chanel didn't want to do it. She's like, I'm not jumping in. We stopped the boat, and I put on a life jacket, and I jumped in, of course. But it took me a while. I'm not going to lie. I didn't just jump right in. It took me a while to brave up because the water was pretty chilly, right? Because it is a lake, and the lake gets its water, I think, from the mountaintops or whatever. But I jumped in, and it was so cool that I jumped in again. So I jumped in twice. And after that, rode the boat some more, drove the boat some more. It was amazing. Chanel got to drive the boat a little bit. On our way back, Chanel was driving, and she was pretty sure that she knew where she was going, but she didn't know where she was going. So I just let her drive. I'm like, we need to go this way. And she's like, no, I'm pretty sure it's this way. So I'm like, okay, I didn't want to argue, so I let her go that way. And lo and behold, it wasn't that way. It was the way I said. So yeah, no, that's typically how it goes. But anyway, we got back. Um, what did we do? We got back and then went. I think we showered again. Went and had dinner. Yeah, we went and had dinner. Ate at a nice restaurant. I forgot the name of the restaurant, but great food once again. And man, the next day after that, we pretty much got breakfast and wrapped things up, packed our stuff, and got on our flight. We went to the outlet, down there while we were on our way to the airport. There's nothing really there. Then we got on our flights, but the whole time I was there, I kept on seeing different articles of clothing. And when I see stuff when I'm out and about, I like to look at it and say, like, I wonder how this was made, right? So let me go on my phone right here and show you guys some stuff that I saw that I want to. Okay, so first of all, when I got to the airport on the way back, I saw this hat right here. It said LT on it, Lake Tahoe. That's interesting. That's easy to make. We all know how to make this. All that is some felt. You can go on your embroidery software, tack down stitch. If you have a laser cutter, you can go ahead, take that file from your embroidery software, or you can create the file in Illustrator that looks like the L and the T, right? You can create that file in Illustrator, drag out the SVG, put it in your laser cutter, get your laser to cut that thing, right? Cut the two letters, and then you would take that same SVG file that you dragged out of Illustrator or Photoshop, right? Take that same SVG file, put it into your embroidery software, and then you make the tack down stitch, or you make a placement and a tack down stitch where you see the stitches at in that LT, right? Then after you do that, you got that. You got your laser cut letters. You load up your hat and your hat attachment and your embroidery machine. Boom, let it embroider that placement stitch. Spray it with some temporary spray adhesive, the back of your letters. Put your letters exactly where it's supposed to go, where the placement stitch is, and then boom, you put the tack down stitch in. Boom, this hat is made right here. So that was pretty cool. I like to do stuff like that and show you guys stuff like that when I see stuff that is pretty cool. Wonder how they were made and stuff like that. So what else did I see? Yeah, some pretty cool merch at these stores right here. All right, so this file right here, this image right here was pretty interesting. This is an applique image because the background obviously is twill or something like that. I think it's twill, yeah. How would we make this? I'll tell you how we make it. Okay, so we get our applique fabric, and first of all, you make the design in your embroidery software. You make a placement and a tack down stitch for the circle, right? For the oval, placement, tack down stitch, and then a satin border, all right? The satin border is the only thing that's tricky because it's like two-toned, right? But after your placement and your tack down stitch, your placement stitch tells you where to place your fabric. You place your fabric there, the tack down stitch tacks down the fabric, then it pauses, then you trim around the whole thing, and then it does the satin stitch all around to lock that fabric in place. Then it does the inside part of that design right there. Pretty easy design to break down. Hope you guys are following along. You guys understand what I mean when I say all this, all right? So here's another design right here. This was on a shirt, actually, and this is also applique, I think it is. Yes, it looks like it might be embroidery all the way, but I think that background there was applique. Now, this is easy to make also. We have some oversized letters, and when the letters are oversized, you go ahead and let the software split the letters so you don't have very, very large stitches, and that's exactly what they did right there. They used some pretty good stabilizer. What they could have did right here was put trim between characters, because between the T and the A and the H and the H and the O, they tried to trim it right there. You can see it between the H and the O. O-E, yeah. They could have put some between characters trims between the L and the A and, the T and the A and stuff like that. But other than that, this design looks pretty cool. It's on the t-shirt. It looks very, very good. I would buy it, but it's not perfect. But, we know how to make it. We know how to make it. All right. So Guys, I encourage you guys, as you guys are on your garment decorating journey, to always look at merch. Look at merch when you're out and about and think to yourself, if it's something that you like, think, how did they make that? How did they make it, right? And just see if you can make it. See if you can figure it out, because, you know, that just helps you when it comes to selling stuff and leveling up in your garment decorating journey, all right? So yeah, guys, Lake Tahoe is amazing. I advise you guys, if you get a chance to get out there, then go ahead and get out there. It's not a typical trip that I would say, hey, well, where do you guys want to go? Let's go to Lake Tahoe. But now it is, because I had a good time. The people there were fun. They treated us great. And I had a great experience at Lake Tahoe. So that's what my vacation from the middle of last week to this weekend, that's what I was doing. What were you guys doing? Leave it in the comments down below. And let me know in the comments down below also if you've ever driven a boat. If you've ever driven a boat like I did. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, A-Dubb Productions, and follow me everywhere else. Follow this channel if you're not following here. And don't forget to go to the merch store and buy yourself some channel merch. I do have now where you can go ahead and upload your high resolution transparent background PNG or SV or PDF file, so I can create your DTF transfers for you on the website now. So you can select how many you want. You can select if you want to, you know, roll of 10 or a roll of 20. You can pay. You can upload your file. All that right from AlanAwade.com. So go ahead to AlanAwade.com and purchase your DTF transfers today. All right, guys. See you later. Peace.
Turn up that, crank it up. Why listen to the rest when you're rocking with the best, baby?